Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sky Yoga. Get the dog settled. There he goes. All right. So I've been sitting at my desk all day. We're going to do some post-meeting stretches, if you don't mind. So let's start by centering. Find a comfortable way to be seated. Resting your hands. Lifting up the torso upright, but relaxed. So relaxed shoulders. Maybe if you always sit the same way, you can try sitting the other way. You can see I'm not used to sitting that way because my knee is much higher. And just begin to pay attention to your breath. You can tuck your chin to direct your gaze downward. And then do whatever pranayama you enjoy that helps you settle your breath down. So you can do hot chocolate breath, you can do longer exhale, you can do the big barrel breath and then release naturally. So whatever helps you relax your breathing. I'm going to do the long exhale. So inhaling fully and counting as you inhale. And then exhaling slowly, making the count one longer than your inhale. So continuing to breathe in a way that allows you to deepen and slow down your breath. And then we'll do some cleansing breaths. So filling your rib cage completely, front and back, and then exhaling with force through an open mouth. Really engaging your core muscles as you exhale. And then you have your option on the last one of adding in the tongue out for the lion's breath. Wonderful. All right, let's stretch the neck. Drop your chin down to your chest. Let your head hang. Maybe wobble slightly. And when you're ready, take your chin in a big semicircle from shoulder to shoulder. And if that's feeling good, you can try for the full circle. And if it's working one direction, try the other direction. Always knowing that if you have pain in your neck, you should go back to a half circle. And then come back up to center. We'll do the neck and shoulder stretch. So take your left hand behind you, grab it with your right, and then let your ear fall to the right. Focusing on keeping the torso upright, the shoulders level, so that this is really just stretching your shoulder. So it's not a side bend, we're not leaning. Just gently holding the left hand in place. Your arm can be straight or bent. And then inhale up, we'll switch sides. So left hand grabs the right hand and the left ear falls down. Shoulders level. And then come back up and we'll do shoulder rolls. Inhale up, exhale down. And then change direction. Wonderful. And then another slightly different shoulder stretch, bringing your thumbs up your back. And then gently pressing your elbows together. They're not going to meet, but pressing them toward each other. How about that? Feel your chest expand. Feel the stretch in your upper arms. And then gently release, clasp your hands and lift your hands up high, stretching throughout the arms. Torso remains upright, we're not leaning forward. See how the shoulder blades are squeezed together behind you. And then release and give yourself a big hug. And then we'll open wide, inhale, and press the backs of the hands toward each other. Again, shoulder blades squeeze in together, torso remains upright. And then give yourself another big hug with the other elbow on top. Good, and now we'll open the arms wide again. Inhale high and reach. Inhale fully and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more like that. Excuse me, too many meetings. Good. And now we'll reach up again, clasp the hands together and turn your palms to the ceiling. Pause here, gently rotating the torso. And then drop one hand for side bend. Pull the top elbow back so that you're not hunched forward. On your next inhale, reach up high again. Fill the lungs and exhale to the other side. Pull that top elbow back. And then come back up, arms wide, exhale, one arm across your body, use the other arm to hook under it. Feel the stretch in your upper arm, the extended arm is relaxed. Inhale wide and open. Exhale the other arm across, hooking it in. Feel a stretch in the upper arm. Open wide again. Inhale up. Drop one hand down and grab that elbow for tricep stretch. See how far you can gently pull your elbow back. You'll feel your shoulder blade moving down your back. Reach up on the inhale and exhale the other hand down, pulling your elbow backward. Feel your hand slide down your back. And release. We're going to make our way to hands and knees to continue warming up the spine. Feel free to use extra padding, a blanket or towel under your wrists or your knees as needed. So we'll start from this neutral tabletop and move slowly through your first cat and cow, really articulating the spine. So we start by straightening the arms, lifting so that the shoulder blades spread apart and downward. And then the rest of the spine follows suit, arching up until you're pushing your navel against your spine. And then push backward with the exhale. You can walk your fingertips forward a bit to get a fuller stretch in your arms here. And then bending at the elbows, the spine goes the opposite way. Shoulders lift, the hips lift, the chin lifts, the gaze lifts, and your belly drops down until you're in a full cow. And then reverse it. So keep rolling through your cats and cows at your own pace with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale back. And then come back to your neutral tabletop. Maybe wagging your hips would feel really nice here. Next, we'll do thread the needle for the shoulders. So inhale your right arm high, reach, pause here and really stretch. With the inhale and then exhale, coming down to the mat. So resting your head and your shoulder on the mat or your prop. Hands come palm to palm, and then your top hand slides out. Walk those fingers as far as they'll go. Feel the stretches in both arms. See if you can line up your top elbow over your bottom wrist. And then with an exhale, it winds around behind you. And we roll the right arm on the floor. And then unwinding the left arm, bring the palm to the mat, press up, inhale the right arm high. Exhale it down. And then we'll switch sides, inhale the left arm high. Exhale to the mat. Hands palm to palm, and then stretch out the top hand as far as it will go. Walking out those fingers. And then exhale for the bind. And roll the left arm. Unwinding the right arm, pressing up. Inhale the left arm. Give it a good stretch. And exhale down. All right, next up are the legs. So we'll extend the right leg straight back. Flex your foot, pause here, really push through your heel. And then swing it around to your side, coming down, resting on your heel, or maybe you've got a pillow or some other prop under your rear end. And then reach out for your ankle. You can let your head hang. You can prop your head on your fist or block. Feeling the stretch all the way up the back of your extended leg. And if your toes are in reach, stretch out and reach your toes, pulling them toward your face and relaxing your ankle. And you'll feel more stretch in the calf. Release, and we'll come back up to tabletop, bringing that foot in, and then switching sides. So the left leg extends, pause, and push through your heel, feeling the stretch in the back of the leg, and then swing it out to your side, sole is flat. Ease back to rest on your heels. You're also resting on your forearms and elbows, or maybe on a prop. And then reach out for your ankle. And then maybe you can grab your toes and pull your ankle, relax your ankle as you pull your toes towards you. And release, we'll make our way back up to hands and knees for drunken cow, AKA Sufi rolls. So hands and knees roughly the same width apart. You're gonna spin in a big circle, push way back, lean way forward, big breaths, big movements. And then we'll switch directions. And then when you're ready, swing forward into an ab stretch. So I'm doing up dog right here with the arms straight up and down. It's a little tough on the low back for me. So I'm going to come down on my elbows and do Sphinx instead. And either way, you can gently sway your torso, looking over your shoulders. Feeling the stretch all through your abs. And then we're going to bring the knees wide, big toes together, and push back for child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front. Push your booty down to your heels. And then come up on your fingertips and see how that changes the flex in your spine. You may feel more of a cow scooping in your spine. And then walk your hands over to one side. You're going to line up your torso with the thigh on that side. And then walk the hands through the center to the other side. Again, lining up your torso with your thigh. And then come back to center, and we're going to sit for a little bit of hip opening after all those meetings. So come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, pulling your feet close to your body. But lifting up your spine and torso, open your chest. So we're not hunching forward into this pose. We're sitting upright, pressing the knees downward. You can press them down one at a time. I'm rocking here. You can flap them both at the same time, like butterfly wings. Keeping your spine upright. And then reach down with your thumbs and open up the balls of the feet, like pages in a book. And then we're going to come into diamond pose. So for this, we push the heels away so that your legs form a diamond shape. And the hands come under your calves and come to rest on the tops of your feet. So maybe your elbows are on the mat, maybe not, that's all right. You can wiggle around and get more comfortable. Let your head hang down. Let your legs relax. And then take your attention to your spine and soften as you go. So we're going to start at the top of the neck and just see if you can imagine your spine softening as you travel your attention downward towards the base of your tailbone. So hopefully you feel your upper body softening as your attention travels downward. And when your attention reaches your pelvic area, relax everything there. Relax your legs outward to the sides. Relax any muscles you were unconsciously clenching. And now maybe you can press your elbows a little, very gently, a little closer to the mat. Or maybe you can pull your head a little closer to your feet. So we're gently pulling upper body closer to lower body. But I keep saying gently because you don't want to hurt your low back. So don't yank, don't pull, just gently ease downward. I'm really feeling a lot of stretch in the hamstrings and outer hips. And then we're going to release and slowly come back up to seated. That was a pretty intense forward fold for me anyway. So I'd like to counter that with a back bend. Let's stretch the legs out in front. For stem pose, stretch your toes apart. And then point your toes away. Hands are behind you for support. We're going to lift up into reverse plank. You have the option to drop your head here. Don't do it if it makes you dizzy. And then slowly lower down. Good. As long as we're in stem pose, let's do head to knee pose. So you're going to leave your right leg extended and pull your left leg in. And the key to this pose is getting your torso and your thigh aligned. So we're going to take your right hand under your right hip and pull it backwards so that your leg is kind of rolled out to the side and it's really lined up with your torso. So we're going to inhale both arms up and then exhale, reaching forward for whatever part of your leg you can grab. If you have your toes in hand, relax your ankle so that you can pull your toes toward your face. So we're getting a stretch all throughout the back of the right leg. And then release and slowly sit up. We're going to pull the right leg in, extend the left leg out. And same thing, left hand comes under your left hip and pulls it backwards. This allows your left foot to roll out to the side and your torso and your thigh to be nicely aligned. So we're going to inhale up, lengthening the upper body, and exhale forward, grabbing whatever part of your leg you can reach. And then release and slowly sit back up. And now we'll extend both legs out together. Lifting your back up straight, shoulders back. Inhale up. And hinge forward, reaching as far as you can. Gently pulling your upper body forward. Relaxing your ankles if you've got your toes in hand. And then release and sit back up. Nice. We're going to place the hands behind us now, lifting the knees up and the feet nice and wide. So feet at least as wide as your mat. Hands behind you. And now just roll the knees side to side. We're opening up the hip joints. And we're gently twisting the back. Feel that twist from the low back all the way up to the shoulder blades. And then the next time that both your knees are pointing left, we're going to bring both of your hands out about a foot or so in front of your left knee. And then come down to rest your forehead on your hands or maybe on your stacked fists. So basically your torso is resting on your left thigh. Really feeling that stretch throughout the left hip. Relax into it. Allow your hip to be crushed into the floor. So just like some kind of dough, it's being rolled out and stretched. And then straighten your arms. We'll bring the right arm back behind you. Do a couple more swipes. Feet nice and wide if they've crept together. And then going the other way. So both knees are facing right. Your right heel is close to your left knee. And you're going to rest your torso on your right thigh and rest your forehead on your hands or your block or your fists, whatever works. And then just allow yourself to completely melt into this pose. And straightening your arms, we'll come back up and finish off with a couple more swipes there. Nice. Okay, so next up we're going to do half lightning pose. Full lightning pose is for the very flexible. I don't think it's safe for most people. So I came up with this modification that allows you to do half lightning pose. So you've got your left leg folded in front of you. Your left shin is directly in front of you. And your right shin is pointing straight back behind you. If we were doing full lightning, it would look like this. Both of the thighs would be pointed forward. Both of the shins would be slightly out to the side. You can see the zigzag. That's why it's called lightning. And your rear end would be on the ground. And just coming into this initial position is really tough on my knees. So left leg in front, right leg behind. The way to extend this is to come down on your left elbow and then come down on your right elbow. And then you can try to line yourself up here, and you can probably feel quite a bit of stretch in your right thigh. So we're trying to keep the right knee down. And then some people can actually come down on their back here. I don't feel that's particularly safe for me. So you have to use your best judgment there. But it is, you can tell it's a great stretch for the quads. So I'm really feeling that in the right thigh. So I'm going to relax and breathe into it. Again, you can drop your head unless that makes you dizzy. And then take care coming out of this. You straighten your right arm and then straighten your left arm to push yourself back up. Yeah, wow. All right, so let's switch legs. Now your right calf comes in front and your left calf is pointing back behind. And you would come down onto your right elbow and then your left elbow, as far down as you are able to safely today. So really feeling that stretch in the left quad, option to let your head hang. You may find that one side is much easier than the other. That's not unusual. They're pretty asymmetrical. So breathe into it, relax. And then straighten your left arm, straighten your right arm, and push back up. Nice. Okay, let's come to cross-legged and do a hip lift here. That will also help with thigh stretching and hip opening. So we're just sitting cross-legged, hands behind for support, and lift your hips. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see better. So pushing the hips up high, just like we would in bridge pose. And you can really feel a stretch in your quads. Option to drop your head. The knees are pushing forward, maybe touching the floor. And then slowly lower down. And now we'll face forward, bringing your upper body forward to stretch the outer hips. So resting on your elbows, if that's not possible, rest on a sofa cushion or something like that. Letting your upper body sink downward and stretch the outer hips. And then use your arms to push back up, and we'll switch the cross of the legs. So this is going to feel awkward because we don't sit this way. So you're crossing the legs the weird way, hands behind you, lifting the hips high, rolling the knees forward, option to drop your head. And then slowly lowering down with control. And then bring your upper body forward to rest on your elbows. And then coming back up to seated. We'll make our way down to our back and do a couple more stretches before Shavasana. So I'd like to do half lotus here since we've done a lot of focus on the quads today. A reclined half lotus, I should say. So we're lying down flat. The right leg is going to stay in place and the left foot is going to come up to your right hip. So grab your left foot in your right hand and hold it close to your hip. The sole of your foot is facing upward and your knee is pressing downward. And you're going to feel a stretch throughout your left quadriceps. And also through the left hip flexor, the front of the left hip. And release. You might want to rotate your ankle a bit. That was my ankle snapping. And then bring the right foot up. So you grab your right foot in your left hand. You're holding that foot up high, close to your hip, and pressing your right knee downward, feeling a stretch throughout the quadriceps. Release, rotate the right ankle. Good, and now we'll do reclined pigeon. So knees in front. Feet don't have to be right up against your body. They can be so that your shins are straight up and down. We're going to rest the left ankle on the right knee and then reach through. So you can grab behind your thigh or in front of your shin. whatever your arm length and flexibility allow. So settling your upper body back down, you want to relax your head and shoulders as much as possible. Pull your right leg in towards your body. And of course, that's going to stretch the back of your left thigh. And release, your right foot comes down to the floor. We can extend this a bit further by rotating toward the right. Your left foot comes down to touch the floor. And now you're pressing, you're using your right leg to press your left knee in towards you. And I feel this as a stretch in the outer left hip. Try to relax the left leg so it can get full benefit of that stretch. And then we'll roll back to center, left foot down, and right foot rests on your left knee. And we'll reach around and grab either behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin. Relax the upper body back down. Try to relax your neck and head. If your neck is arched uncomfortably, stick a pillow or a blanket under there. So pulling the left leg in is going to stretch the outer right hip and the piriformis muscle. Breathe. Relax. And then release your left foot to the floor and we'll roll to the left. So your right foot is flat on the floor. Your left knee is pushing your right ankle inward, and that's going to stretch the outer right hip right here. Roll back to center. Place your right foot on the floor. Actually, we're just going to extend our legs straight out for Shavasana. So if lying on your back is difficult for you, I recommend bringing your feet up and pretty wide so that your knees can collapse inwards. This is great support for the low back. Or you can lie with your legs extended. Use any props that make this doable for you. Traditionally, hands are out at your sides. And relax from head to toe. Relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Let go of all the little muscles that help your eyes focus. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Relax your neck. Relax your vocal cords. Your whole face and head are relaxed. Let your shoulders just sink backward. And let the heavy feeling flow down through your arms, to your elbows, forearms, wrists. Feel this heavy sense of relaxation pooling in your palms and extending into your fingertips as your arms relax. Let your rib cage sink into the mat. Let your pelvis sink into the mat. And let the heavy, relaxing feeling flow through your pelvis to your thighs and hamstrings, your knees and calves, through your ankles, through the arches of your feet, to the tips of your toes. Let your legs be soft. And just lie here, letting your breath wash over you naturally. And begin to breathe more deeply now. Breathing through your limbs to the tips of your fingers and toes. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, your ankles and wrists. Roll your head side to side. And then ask your spine what it's craving. Does it want a big, long, full stretch? Does it want you to pull your knees up to your chest? Take whatever pose your spine would like. And then roll to one side, pausing in supported fetal position with your head on your arm. And when you're ready, push up to seated. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope this little break helps you get on with your day. Great timing, clap.
Thanks, Stephanie.